So one of the things that I love about this video is that it really shows how to get that even skin tone. And when you have an even skin tone, you have that light bright around your eye, you have your complexion just nicely evened out. It's such a great base for you to build on. And this gives you just some really easy tips to get that natural look when you have just a little bit of liner, when you have those brows and you have that natural eyelash. Now from there, when you get to set, if they say, you know what, we'd like to bump it up a little bit, or we need a little more contour, then you can start to add a little bit of definition of that contour in your cheeks maybe. You can add a little bit darker eyeshadow. It's really dependent upon the job, and you can ask them straight up, what is your directive? What is it that you're looking for? If I have to show up to a job hair and makeup ready, I do my natural face for TV, which is essentially the foundation, neutral eyeshadow. I do a thin liner on the eyes. I do my eyebrows. And then when I show up to set, I'm like, how is my makeup? Do you want more? Is there something else that you're looking for? Let's look at it through the camera and make sure that you don't look washed out, that you don't, a lot of times the camera will, your makeup can almost disappear. You won't have definition in your face depending on the lights. So you might have to go back and add more. Again, it's easier to go back and add than it is to take away. So just remember that. As far as your hair is concerned, do whatever you feel like is best for your hair. Say you have curly hair, unless they specify that they want it straightened, then I would absolutely come in with your hair curled. Like for me today, I had a little bit of curl to my hair because to me that looks a little more polished than coming in and not having done anything. Or if your hair is straight, get it with that flat iron, but be sure to bring the tools with you. Because once you get there, they could be like, you know what, your hair is curled, we really wanted it straight, even though they didn't specify that. You want to make sure that you have everything with you in order to make that change. You want to make it as easy for your client as possible, because if you're easy to work with, they're going to want to work with you again. It's the same thing with working with that makeup artist. If you can get along with that makeup artist, the client will know it, the makeup artist will know it, everybody will be able to get their jobs done efficiently and quickly and to the best of everyone's ability. They're going to want to hire you again, and you want that repeat client. You absolutely always want to have those great remarks. They go back to your agency. Your agency can pass those along to other clients. This is how you start to build your work. This is how you build your clientele. This is how you get booked as a model. So when you get to set, you always want to make sure that you are prepared. Whether you're on a photo shoot or whether you're headed to a runway show, there are essential things that models should always have with them. Even if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm lugging around the suitcase, lug that suitcase around because you never know when you're going to need something. So let me break it down to you a little bit easier. Like I said, sometimes you might be working with a makeup artist. Sometimes you'll have to do it yourself. Either way, always bring your makeup kit. You never know what's going to happen. If there's 30 models in a fashion show and 15 makeup artists and they can't necessarily get to you, or they can only do half your face, guess what? You're going to have to finish it. It's always good to have your own tools. You don't want to be relying on anybody else. The same thing with your undergarments. It's so important that you show up with nude undergarments. You want to make sure that whatever it is that you're going to be wearing underneath the clothing isn't going to show. That means nude colors or whatever your skin tone color is. And you always want to make sure that you have a wide range of bras, being that they're strapless, regular straps, or if they're adjustable, if you can change them to a racer back or crisscross, anything like that would be great, because you want to make sure that your straps aren't going to show with the varying outfits that you're going to be wearing. Also, you want to avoid any kind of lines. Shapewear is always a good idea as well. Sometimes we like to wear those little Spanx under our clothes, and those can always be really helpful, especially with clothing that the material is really thin and you can kind of see everything. You know, as models, we're not always perfect. We know that. People are not perfect. Sometimes you have a little something that you need to hide, and those are the best way to go about doing that. So you always want to make sure that you have those available. Another really important thing is a shoe bag. Now your shoe bag is always going to be seasonal. So you have your spring, summer, and you have your fall, winter. I would always keep black pumps and nude pumps regardless of season. If you have a spring summer bag, it's going to be your strappy sandals. It's going to be your strappy heels. It's going to be lighter, brighter colors. For your fall winter, you're going to have more boots. They're going to be closed-toed. They're going to be darker colors. They're going to be a little heavier fabrics. Just because you want to complement whatever it is that you're going to be wearing. And they will you will have a request from your clients, please bring a shoe bag. Make sure that the shoes are seasonal, that they are going to be going with the clothing that you're going to be modeling. And you don't want to be without it, especially if you end up in a fashion show situation where they don't have your shoe size. At least you have your own shoes and you know they're going to fit. That's so important. You don't ever want to be caught without your shoe bag. Again, I stressed having your own makeup and hair tools. I can't begin to stress enough how important it is to have your model kit. It's going to go with you everywhere that you go. It should also include things like tights. Those are always a good idea. You want to make sure that you have elastics for your hair. Another really great undergarment to have are the petals, in case you have an outfit that you can't wear a bra, but you still want that coverage. So those are really, really great things to have in your bag as well. I would also recommend bringing things like a toothbrush and toothpaste, bringing snacks. A lot of times you'll be on set and you won't be breaking for lunch, or you won't have time, or they won't have a snack for you. And you want to make sure that you have these things for yourself. You want to look out for yourself to make sure that you can always be on point for your client, that you can always be working at your absolute best potential for your client. Again, because ultimately we are hired to sell their product, and we want to make sure that their experience with you is a positive one.